former First Lady Michelle Obama blasting rumors that her marriage is on the rocks, essentially, with the 61-year-old on this podcast with TV star Sophia Bush, Work in Progress it's called, saying she's making what she calls big girl decisions about her life and how she wants to spend her time.
This year, people were, they couldn't even fathom that I was making a choice for myself, that they had to assume that my husband and I are divorcing. This couldn't be a grown woman just making a set of decisions for herself, right?
Right.
Now, the former First Lady did not mention any specific events, but some of these tabloid rumors started to be fueled after her husband, Barack Obama, the former president, was seen attending some high-profile events, including former President Jimmy Carter's funeral, President Trump's inauguration solo. Rehema Ellis is joining us now. What else did Michelle Obama say here?
She had a lot to say, and I think we probably have to preface it by this is a thoroughly modern former first couple. And they are all on social media. They are, in some ways, they are changing the culture of what we might think about in terms of a first couple. And she's said that people have boxed her in for the most part, and she's trying to break out of that box. Take a listen.
That's what society does to us. We start actually finally going, what am I doing? Who am I doing this for? And if it doesn't fit into the sort of stereotype of what people think we should do, then it gets labeled as something negative and horrible.
And she's not settling for that. She's branching out and telling her own truth, if you will. Hallie?
What's been interesting is that both of the Obamas, Michelle in particular, has been really open over the past maybe decade here about their relationships' ups and downs. Like in 2022, the former First Lady talked about how there was like a decade where she says, couldn't stand my husband when the kids were really little, when their daughters were really young. And you saw at that moment, some people were saying, man, that's so refreshing to hear somebody talk so honestly about things like couples counseling, which she wrote about in her memoir. Just last week, you had former President Obama up at, I think it was Hamilton College, saying, like, I was in a deficit with my wife, so now we're doing a lot of fun things. I mean, there is a level of, I think, candid conversation from this couple that we haven't necessarily always seen from presidential, couples past.
Yeah, and the whole idea of what was happening in their marriage. And early on, she had said that she wasn't really on board to be running with him for the presidency. And in a podcast just recently, her brother and she talked about the fact that he had to convince his sister that she should do this for her husband and she should do this for their family. And so she did. And to what you were just speaking about, we have a little bit of the former president talking about the fact that she's done a lot of things for him. And it might be his turn to turn the tables. Take a listen.
Look, I was in a deep deficit with my wife, so I have been trying to dig myself out of that hole by doing occasionally fun things.
So more of that. We might see more of the former president doing that work to dig himself out of that hole, Hallie.
Rehema Ellis, thank you very much for that reporting. I appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.